Hello, everyone, and welcome to this special episode of Mixed Extends. It is just the three of us, mainly because we've been really busy this month, and also because Mark didn't book anyone this month either. Did you, Mark?
I did not.
So it's just me, Mark, and Anthony, and we're going to be talking. We've got a couple of announcements for you. So I think the first big one that we want to mention is that 8KB is coming back this summer, and it is coming to you on the 28th of July, 2021. So make that note in your diaries. That's when we'll be having it. It's a Wednesday, so we always do this during the week. We just generally don't want to do, because we do stuff on the weekend. Basically, we have
I don't
busy
do
lives
anything on
and
the weekends. Let's be serious.
what?
I don't do anything on the weekends.
No.
You don't do
What's the
anything.
point?
All right, fair enough.
What's the
All right,
point?
well, what we could
Oh
do.
wait,
I
we're
chat-
recording
I-
this
yeah.
on a weekend.
I
right?
chat with
This
you
is
guys.
Saturday.
Yeah.
Also, too,
Okay.
if you don't have a diary, you can put it in your calendar.
Join the 21st century. All right, I still have a diary. I like writing stuff. I've tried using electronic calendars and diaries and to-do lists and things like that. Doesn't work for me. Like writing it down in my little pen book.
No, it
But
doesn't
no,
work for me either.
anyway, 8KB is coming back on the 28th of July, 2021. So that means we need speakers. And that means our call for speakers will be opening next week on the 1st of April. Okay, probably the worst day to open a call for speakers on April Fool's Day, but still,
Okay,
we are
I
opening our
imagine
call
we'll
for
get some
speakers.
good submissions on April 1st, right?
Absolutely, and we got that. We're going to be registering it with the Call for Data Speakers website as well. That website is fantastic for getting notifying all the speakers out there. So if there are people out there who shockingly don't listen to this podcast, we can get them informed that the event is coming as well. So, chaps, excited? I mean, I remember we'd finished the last one. I was just sitting there going, I can't wait to do the next one.
Yeah. No, it's funny how that is. I mean, the amount of work that goes into it, and then doing it, and then when you're done, you're like, let's just do it again, right? And that's
What's up
totally
next?
yeah. it's
Except for
totally
this
fun.
time when I checked to see if people are available and then just didn't book anybody. So
Well, yeah. So this month has been particularly busy for all of us. So I think we can. I've been saying we should have been doing a podcast on our own for ages anyway, since we started this up. So I'm quite happy just to have you two here to chat about it.
Oh, it's so sweet.
So should we talk about the call for speakers then? Right, because
Sure.
there's what we do things a little bit differently for AKB. We have 2 events a year, and we only have 1 call for speakers, and that's mainly because we don't want to do 2 call for speakers a year. We don't bother the speakers so much, even though Sessionize does make it easy. So what we do is we throw the call for speakers out there, ask you all to submit, and then we'll pick 5 sessions for the first event, and then later on in the year, we'll pick 5 sessions for the second event. So clear as mud, probably, but still, that's the way we're going to do it.
we
Yeah, and I
originally
think
started doing
it's-
it that way. Go ahead, Anthony.
I was gonna say, and obviously, if there's an update to a submission, we'll make sure that flows through in a Sessionize and as part of your actual submission. So even though it's kind of gated from a time standpoint, things change in 6 months. So that would be a way to get an update to a submitted session.
Oh yeah, absolutely. If you have an update to your session and you want to change it, absolutely let us know, and we will make that update to your submission. No problem at all. So what are
Yeah,
we
and I
looking
think-
for, chaps? What type of sessions are we looking for? If anyone's seen the event before, it's obviously SQL Server internals, but what makes it different from all the other events out there?
Well, it's funny
Mark,
because
you're laughing.
we want. Well, I'm laughing because we wanted some higher level content, and in our kind of explanation of the different levels, we start at level 300. But I was thinking back, and I don't know if we've had a level 300 talk. I think they've all been 400, 500, and Insanity. So that's been really cool to see.
For
and
selected sessions or submissions, like selected, yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
for selected. Yeah. I guess we have had some 300.
So that's probably a good shout. Our ranges go from 300. So 300's like would you say it's advanced or intermediate? I'd say advanced.
Yeah, in our page it says how to use DBCC page, which I think is a lot of this is kind of tongue in cheek, but it is a good explanation of the level. Not everybody's using DBCC commands like page on an everyday basis. So yeah, that's kind of like the starting level is the things that people don't use every day, that are a little more advanced and potentially undocumented.
So we have it on our website. So it's 300 for how to use DBCC page.
Yep.
400 is how DBCC page works. 500, I wrote DBCC page. And then insanity is struck page, which Anthony dropped in there to try and explain. Insanity is the real, you've written something, you've written the code for it, you're diving into it, you're showing us how this works. So that kind of excludes a lot of people when it comes to a closed system like SQL Server. But if you've written something that supports the SQL Server engine, then you can do an insanity. We've only had one insanity level talk so far. So I think we usually get around 400 and 500.
So if anybody wants to go back and look at some of the old, some of the previous events, Thomas Grosser's session was not insanity, but it was insanity. Like I think that's a good example of what an insanity level.
I think someone added that comment to the YouTube video for his session. Because that he just stepped on the gas and did not let go the whole time.
Speakers seem to be overly modest about the levels. Actually, we found
they are.
Yeah.
And then there's also some competition, and when speakers see that other people are submitting higher level sessions, they'll juice up their
that happened as well when people have come back saying, can I bump my level up, please? Yeah.
And I think the forum, going back to like the conference in general, I think the forum lends itself to these higher level sessions. So for example, if you went to a SQL Saturday or some other data event that's been occurring and you present an advanced level session, you might get 6 people in the room. I've done it, right?
Yeah.
But the difference here is we're casting a wider net because we're doing it virtually. So we have generally 200, 300, 400 people live in a session. So, you're hitting a larger target audience if that's your goal. And then it's also recorded so that it's there to see, as long as YouTube's available. And so I think it's a fantastic way to capture this information and share it, in contrast to in-person events that are kind of, you generally hit a smaller target audience. And I think as speakers, or I put us all in the bucket of speakers, and certainly some of the listeners will be speakers, you kind of lean away from the super advanced sessions when you are presenting in person, because you want to hit a wider audience, and provide more impact for the technology that you're teaching. And I think this conference, it enables that impact, especially for this deep dive stuff that generally you'll see in blogs or in Microsoft documentation, things like that. But the kind of bringing it to life in the conference has been a really cool thing to see,
and very well received. From people of all experience levels, even because I know there's been some people that are fairly new to the whole, to most of the topics that we're discussing, and they've got.
Did you when you wrote the initial copy for the website, Mark? I remember you were trying to capture that point, and like it was worded a little funny, and a friend of the community gave us some feedback on how to reword that a little bit. But it is like this kind of training is not hard to find, but generally, it's kind of hard to find. And so it's now available for anybody, which I think is fantastic at zero cost. Right.
Well, and most of the sources of stuff like the training like this, like if it's paid, they're looking for a large audience. Even if it's a free event, but it's in person, they have to make all their money back somehow with vendors. There's sponsorships and things, and I don't know how willing sponsors would be to sponsor a conference that would be completely dedicated to really high level topics.
Well, who knows, because we don't have any sponsors. So.
It's quite the segue there.
Nothing against sponsors, but the fact of the matter is we don't need sponsors. Our costs are minimal. We like the feedback forms that we do for the sessions are all done on a free site and things like that. So I think me being a complete cheapskate is paying off at this point. I was like, how can we do everything for free?
Hey, you're not the only cheapskate here.
Right. But I think like a primary effect of not having sponsors is it kind of keeps the autonomy of the event. Like, let's just go and jam out for a whole day about whatever we want, right? And we can steer the conference in any direction without any external influence, because like I always said, in our meetings internally, money complicates things. And so this way we kind of keep our independence. So that idea of no sponsors is intentional so that we can kind of keep that independence and just drive the content forward without any external influence.
Well, that being said, we do need to generate some revenue to pay for our Zoom license. Mark, how do we do that, Mark?
I'm glad you asked, Andrew. No, if you do want to support us, we've had a lot of people ask how they could support us. Our primary method is via t-shirt sales. We've had people ask if they can just send us money. We'd rather not do that because, again, we don't really want to handle the cash. So yeah, you just head over to our bonfire store, and I'll put the link
will
up.
be in the it'll be in the show notes.
Yeah, link will be in the show notes. I'm not putting it there, Anthony. Should I show off the new design?
Oh, go ahead.
Should I?
Absolutely.
So for 8KB, the summer edition here this year, I've come up with a new t-shirt design. We've always mentioned in most of our comments about this event how it's brain melting content, and I think I saw somebody ask for a brain melting t-shirt in one of the comments. So I've gone ahead and designed a brain melting shirt, and I'm wearing right now. Got the 8KB logo in white and gray with a pink melting brain in the background. So
very dashing.
Yes. So those will be available soon.
I would say making a brain melting look cute is a pretty special feat. So nice work there.
Yeah.
To be fair, I did purchase the SVG of the brain melting. I just added a logo to it.
You should have stopped the sentence earlier. No, I totally came up with this design. It was all my idea.
This was hand drawn by me. No, I'm not that talented when it comes to art, so I had to purchase something. But hey, it's a cool shirt.
Yeah, so we're going to have that on our bonfire store along with the mixed extents t-shirts that we already have and some 8KB. We got the 8KB stuff already up there, haven't we? The hoodies and the
Yep, we got hoodies.
I bought
shirts. One. Yeah.
Anthony I bought one and it was right. I bought one and it was immediately taken away by my oldest. By my oldest. So she took it, and I have not yet seen it since.
Well, I woke up today and got dressed. I put this on, went downstairs to have some breakfast. My teenage daughter came moseying on down, as teenage daughters do, and she had my other 8KB shirt on, so it was kind of funny.
Yeah, it's been kind of crazy, like just seeing other people in the community wear the t-shirt. It's just like it's
when live conferences come back and if I go to an event and someone's wearing either a mixed extents t-shirt or an 8KB t-shirt, I'm going to lose my mind.
yeah, totally. So it's been fun, and that's so huge. Like the community support and feedback has been just so amazing, and we're so like grateful that folks are supporting this event. So thank you. But it's great. I'll hop on a Zoom call and someone's wearing an 8KB t-shirt or a mixed extents t-shirt, and that's, like Andrew said, it's pretty crazy to see. So
it's also the feedback that we've had. I remember when we first started this, we were thinking about how many people we're going to get if we would get any submissions, and we got blown away by the amount, the level and the amount of submissions we got for speakers, and then the registration just went bonkers. So nope. The reason we're still doing it is because apparently it seems to have hit a nerve and people like it. So
yeah,
massively surprised, but just really thankful that we're doing something that people seem to enjoy, and we're going to continue doing it. Mm-hmm. Oh, one thing we should have mentioned for the speakers as well, we record the sessions, we upload them to YouTube, but we also provide the speakers with a recording of their session for themselves that they can do whatever they want with. Well, we hand it off to you. There's no catches, there's nothing. We give you the file, there's your session, upload it to your own personal website, do what you want with it. I think that's kind of cool that we do that as well. Yeah. I haven't seen any other event do that, which...
Yeah. Another thing to mention too, I was going to mention earlier, as far as the running two events off of one call for speakers, I think that kind of started off as us being a little bit lazy and not wanting to run another call for speakers. But like most things with this event, our laziness has paid off. I think it's helped us make sure that we don't have the same speakers at all events. we'd love to have people like Bob Ward at every event, because Bob's talks are amazing. But it's nice to see different faces at every event. So that was
Yeah.
a bonus.
Well, part of that though, not just was our laziness, but we also took into account the quality of the sessions because we were like,
Yeah.
this is really hard to pick, especially when we picked the first 5, because we could still pick from that same pool and run the next 6, 7 conferences and still have a banging conference every single time.
Absolutely.
And so that was part of the calculus that went into just pulling from that same
Calculus.
CIP. I can't wait till I see you in person again, because when I'm going to kick you
Oh,
square
man.
in something,
This
and you're
sounds
going to be like, "Why did he
makes
do
it
that?"
sound
And I'm going
so well thought out.
to.
Ridiculous.
Anywho, it was an awesome body of work in there. So we just so that's the idea.
And for anybody running online conferences, it's amazing the kinds of submissions you'll get. People submitting HR related sessions, for example.
That was we got sessionized bombed with.
Yeah, if you keep your call for papers open on Sessionize, you'll get random bombings where people will just submit like 8 sessions completely unrelated to anything that your conference is about. So that was kind of funny.
Particularly weird, actually, but yeah, why not? Okay. Having said that, I've accidentally submitted to a conference, and they've contacted me going, "Yeah, this is for like a local conference for local speakers, and you're not based here. What are you doing?" I was like, "Oh, yeah, sorry, my bad."
That's one thing I've liked seeing in this kind of virtual conference era that we're in is that kind of recentering on local development of speakers. I think a couple of events have done that, where they'll either limit it to their city, country, or region. Because that, the smaller events, that's one of the goals of a smaller event, is to help cultivate a speaker community. So that's been a neat thing to see. So fully support the communities doing that.
Yeah, the New Starter Data people are doing some great jobs as well with like speaker coaching, and I've attended those. I think they've done 2 now.
Yeah.
2. Yes.
I just wrapped one up
both
like 2 weeks ago.
That's it. Yeah. And the quality they get through the coaching that the new speakers are getting from that group of people who are running that event is absolutely fantastic.
Oh, that's a super cool event. I think the thing I like most that I've seen out of that is you'll have somebody that you haven't really heard of in the community before. They'll do a good job at New Stars of Data, and then all of a sudden you see them everywhere. So it's just super cool to see that people are they're going through that process, presenting there, and then it's actually paying off quickly. They're getting a lot more well known, and they're able to just get their name out there a lot more. So that's been cool to see.
That's a huge gap. So just like from a internal standpoint and hardcore content standpoint, that we filled that gap. That's a huge gap now that we don't have live events again, right? Because we don't have user groups that are in person or SQL Saturdays and things like that. So it was great to see Ben and William help fill that gap with New Stars of Data to cultivate that community in this time that we're in. So,
well, especially if you've got these really great speakers with a lot of knowledge to share, that maybe they just happen to live in an area where there's not a lot of local events, or like Anthony.
I live in Mississippi, right?
Yeah.
So
But for people that live in those types of areas, or super rural areas where they don't really have any local events they can get to easily, it's cool. They can just hop on their computer.
I think we should also note for our event for EightKB, we 100% go off the abstract. We do not go off speaker name.
Yes.
But we've turned down sessions before because we knew the speaker was awesome, but the abstract wasn't great. So it's like, I know this is going to be a great session, but we've got another similar session, and that abstract is better.
Yeah.
And we picked the better abstract. So yeah, it's 100% off the abstracts for 8KB.
And the 3 of us keep each other honest as far as that goes too.
Yep.
There's certainly people in the community that if they submitted a talk, I would almost say yes without question. But
we made some very high up people.
Yeah.
They had to go through the hoops and submit abstracts as well. We're not giving anyone
hope.
Yep, there's no given sessions here. There has to go through Sessionize.
Yeah, the crazy thing that happened during the speaker selection, and we talked about this a little bit during the first event, is what we've done. What we do is we go basically individually. We'll pick who each one of us thinks is the 5 sessions that we want, and then we come together and compare notes. I think the first time, like, we were all off. Like, there was one session that we didn't agree on. Like,
Mhm.
meaning like Mark and I had the same 5. Mark and I, Andrew and I had the same like 4. And the second
Yeah.
time, essentially the same thing happened again.
Mm.
There was like very little variance, and so I think that lends itself to the quality of the sessions that are coming in, or we just weirdly share the same brain. But we'll come together.
We
Maybe we
spend too
talk
much
too
time
much.
hanging around together.
Yeah, totally. And then we'll trade notes, and next thing you know, we have a schedule. So it's been cool to see that. But I genuinely think that lends itself to the quality of the sessions that are coming in and the abstracts themselves. So
Yeah, and as a speaker, watching some of these sessions, you're sitting there going, "My sessions aren't that good." Right, I might go back and rework. I might go back and rework some of my demos.
It's funny. I haven't heard you say that before, so that's it's funny to hear. Because that'll be the second case where we've brought out some sort of competitiveness in the speakers, and I like that. I think that's
Yeah.
cool.
Okay, so CFP open 1st of April. We'll get it on the Call for Data speakers. We've also got a brand new blog coming as well on the EightKB website, where we'll be announcing and sorting stuff out there after we moved it from hosting wherever we were hosting before onto GitHub pages. So we can easily update that now. So we can get blogs out and people can have that in their RSS feed. So we'll be announcing all the details that we're talking about here. We'll get onto the blog. I will get that written at some point next week.
Well, before the first, hopefully.
Yes, before the 1st.
You're not gonna have time next week.
Yes, you will. Well, no, it's good. We can just drop it onto the GitHub repo now. So we just write in Markdown, throw it up there, and it should render. Yeah,
it's quick.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Yeah, that's the reason we did it. Nice and easy. Rest and control off Mark for the website.
That was the ultimate goal there.
Yeah,
Hey,
pretty
we
much.
needed something quick. I got something quick.
Well, here's one quick question for you two. So generally, we've had only 5 sessions, and I wonder if folks might be thinking, why not more? Why not multiple days, or even
I'm not
a 6th
doing
and 7th? Yeah,
I'm not doing a multiple day conference. I'm just not.
So from my comments, people will know what my favorite session of the last event was. But again, with Thomas's session, like, I mean, my brains were practically falling out of my head at the end of that session. I just couldn't imagine more than 5 sessions.
More than 5, yeah.
More than 5 sessions in it. It's a long day. And remember, trying to incorporate multiple time zones as well. We start at 2 p.m. UTC to incorporate America, but there's obviously everyone East as well.
Yeah.
You know, it gets later and later on in the day. So by the time he finished, I remember we had to cut him off as well because he was still going at the end.
Yeah.
We do have limits on the session length purely because of that, because it was like nearly 10 o'clock where I was, and I've been going since 2 p.m. So
Yeah.
we have to have a shut off. And also, I think 2 days is it's just overkill. I think keeping it down to the 5 sessions on the one day for now.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
even 5 sessions, it's gonna be a long day for anybody attending.
So yeah, I mean, the idea is we'll leave the audience wanting more, right?
Oh yeah.
I think I said that. I think I said that at the end of the last event and immediately cringed as soon as I said it.
Yeah.
Well, the one thing I like too,
because it's so mind melty.
well, the one thing I like too, and I noticed more so in this last event than the previous one, is that the amount of community interaction on Slack and between moderators and stuff, it just goes up and up and up throughout the day. And by the end of the day, it just feels like you've been hanging out with these people all day.
I thought the Slack idea at one point, when we were trying to get the link to the registrations involved, because signing up to Slack is a real pain, I thought it was a big mistake until I saw all the engagement that was happening in that channel. That was, instead of use, for anyone listening, the reason the first event we used Zoom Chat, and Zoom Chat, let's be honest, it's not great. It's okay. But we also found that there was confusion between chat and when people were asking questions. People were asking questions in Zoom chat, not the Q&A panel. So for the last event, we disabled Zoom chat and we got everyone to sign up to Slack. There's SQL Server Community Slack. There's an 8KB channel in there, and people could just chat in there. And I think one memory that sticks out for me is some guy asked a question about Query Store, and Erin Stellato jumped in and answered it for him.
Yeah.
And she wasn't speaking, she was just hanging out during the day. I was just like, okay, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, you definitely don't get that at every conference. So
And we had a load of really awesome people come and hang out all day, or hanging around in the community Slack. So we'll definitely be doing that again.
Yeah.
We just need to make sure that the link stays active.
Yeah, I think that kind of gives folks a personal connection that like is hard to get right now in virtual conferences. Being able to interact with your peers and your community and industry experts and just jam out for all day and kind of talk about the same session or whatever weird thing you're seeing in your own environment. And it's that, honestly, I think that's been such a significant part to the success of the conference outside of the raw like content that we're just is getting I don't want to say produced.
Well, I think it took us all about 30 seconds to get moderators to volunteer.
Right. Yeah.
we had to turn people away. Right?
Yeah.
For moderators.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is
We-
just
We
all
have
the
a
moderators
list.
hang.
We've been tracking who's
yeah,
asked.
we had we had too many people that wanted to just hang out.
Guys, awesome.
No, it's been fun.
All right, so we were going to make this one a short one, so I think we'll wrap up there.
Yeah.
So remember, the dates are the 28th of July 2021 for the next 8KB. Call for speakers is being opened. That's the word, Andrew. On the 1st of April next week. I don't know. And thanks all for listening, and we'll see you again soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye now.
All right.
That looked good.
There we go. Nice and simple.